Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Something a little bit different this time. In a recent comment on GT Planet, I said in relation to the last round of the Manufacturer Championship, the Group 4 race at Red Bull Ring, I said maybe the tyre wear at times 15 is not going to be as bad as people think. And somebody said to me, yeah, unless you're in an FF car. And to be fair, that was an absolutely fair comment because the FF cars in Group 4, if you're not aware, have quite a significant tyre wear problem. Now, an FF car is a front wheel drive car with the engine mounted at the front. So what that means is that basically the front tyres or axle is required to pretty much do everything in terms of the car. It's required to turn the car, it's required to steer the car, and it's required to do the braking. So, not unsurprisingly, the front tyres take a bit of a beating. So it got me thinking, well, maybe there's something really simple within the game that PD could do to make these cars more competitive and bring them back. So today that's what we're going to take a little bit of a look at and see if we can mess about with the BOP settings, which is the weight and the powertrain. We're not going to touch any of the actual any other settings. The cars will remain technically stock as they come. We're just going to adjust the power ratio and the weight and see if we can try and bring that front tyre wear under control. Now in doing so, we're not trying to change the characteristics of the cars. We still want the car to act very much like a Group 4 car, so we don't want it suddenly going 10 miles an hour faster or be able to go around the corners 15 miles an hour quicker. We want the car to remain the same, be just as competitive, because there's nothing wrong with the speed of the FF cars in terms of actual lap time they can generate without tyre wear. They are quite competitive in that regard. So we aren't trying to change the character's car, we're just trying to change the tyre wear. Now here is an example of the problem in real time. We're in the Renault Megane here, and we are in a lobby under the settings of the last round of the Manufacturer Championship in Austria. So this is tyre wear at times 15, and in this one you had the choice of racing soft through to racing hard. So we are on lap 5 of a run on the soft tyres, and you can just see that tyre wear, the front left in particular, is pretty much nearly disappeared. The car is pretty much undrivable. Lap 4 we were over 2 seconds slower than our best lap, which wasn't even a good lap in the first place. And that last lap there we were nearly 3.5 seconds slower. So this is what the BOP for the Renault Megane Group 4 looks like in game. This is what you have to use or put up with if you use it in sports mode. So 350 brake horsepower, and I think it was what, 1,125 kilograms, or I think it was 1,100. So this is the settings that I came up with. I fiddled about with them for about 15 minutes in that lobby. So we have changed the power ratio down to 89 and the weight reduction ratio down to 86. So we've got 39 less horsepower, and we are about 150 kilograms lighter. So we decided to set up a wee custom race. We have the settings for this at tyre wear at times 10 and fuel at times 1. And we're going to use the racing soft tyre. And I quite like to use the topless short track as a test track. I think it's a short lap, so you can rack the laps up and see how they compare. But it's got a couple of lengthy straights, so power's important, and it's got a nice twisty section with a couple of hairpins. So I think it's a good balance of speed and handle on this track. So we're in the Renault Megane here. We do have a different livery. We changed it for the opening shot. But this is with the in-game BOP. So 350 brake horsepower and 1,100 kilograms. And we're doing a 5-lap run. And you can see that for the first 3 laps, not too bad. But then we just start to suffer a significant drop off in performance. We're 1.2 seconds slower than lap 3 on lap 4, and we're not looking much better here in lap 5. And you can see those front tyres are taking an absolute pounding. The rear tyres in the FF cars are essentially just to hold the car up. So I think that tyre wear there's maybe approaching about 40% on the front with the in-game BOP. So let's take a look and compare it with our BOP, or my BOP as I've put on the screen. So power rate, I can't remember what it was it 86 and 89? So we're on lap 5 here. You can see our sort of open 3 laps have been very similar, even probably a little bit quicker, because as you can see from the tyre wear, we're suffering much less tyre wear. And as we bring it over the line for lap 5 to finish, it's a 112.4. We've probably improved the tyre wear by at least 20%, and our finishing time is actually 2.7 seconds quicker, which is quite a lot over the course of a 6-minute race. So let's take a look at another one of the FF cars. This one is the Peugeot RCZ, quite an infamous car in the game, beloved by many, but usually for the wrong reasons. Now, this car suffers terrible front tyre wear, just like all the FF cars. So we're at Fuji short course, so we're missing the chicane out, so technically we're probably giving the tyres a little bit of a break in this one. Again, 5 laps, just to see. So a slightly longer run in this car. So we are fast forwarding through the first 4 laps here, but it just gives you a real time indicator of how that tyre wear's wearing down. You can just see that red bar getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the sort of tyre indicator. Okay, so this is actually taking a little bit longer than I thought it would. We made a mistake into turn 1 on lap 4, but that's, again, that was really just down to the tyre wear. Tyres degrade so much and change so much from lap on lap that your braking points change massively. So we join the footage here and back to normal speed. We are halfway through lap 5. Again, just look at that tyre wear. Again, it's the front left that's taking most of the punishment. This one, not surprising with Fuji, there's a couple of high speed right hand corners, so all the load being placed on the left hand front tyre. And you can just see how much we're struggling with it. Having to really slow the car down, over slow it to try and get anywhere near an apex. And I can tell you when driving this was just not a lot of fun at all. So onto the main straight we come, and we shall head towards the finishing line. I think that front left is at least worn down by about 70%. And look at the drop off in lap time. There was a mistake on lap 4, but lap 5 is a genuine lap that's 3 seconds slower than our base lap, which was lap 2. So let's look at the changes we made to the Peugeot. So here is the in-game BOP settings. Power at 111% and the weight at 100, giving us 382 horsepower and a weight of 1,225 kilograms. So my settings is to reduce the power down to 93 and the weight down to 81. Giving us 320 horsepower and a big old chunk, nearly well over 200 kilograms lighter. Now, it makes sense. The theory behind this is obviously make the car lighter, less load on the tyres, give the car less power, less load being put through the front tyres on acceleration zones. So those two settings should make quite a big difference to tyre wear. So here's our run in the same car with our custom BOP, if you like. We come towards the end of lap 5 and you can just see a massive difference in the tyre wear for a start, and nice stable lap times as well. Managing to keep it in the 42s for the first 3 laps. Obviously we are still suffering quite a lot of tyre wear, but a massive difference compared to the actual in-game, and performance very similar. With the in-game BOP, the Peugeot reaches about 155 down this straight. With my custom BOP, it's about 152. But we do have obviously slightly better cornering performance due to the reduction in weight. But again, not changing the car significantly in how it performs and handles, just the changes are just purely to try and get the tyre wear under control. So finally we move on to the Audi TT. And we're back doing our autopolis test here. This was the in-game BOP. The TT in better shape than the Megane round this track. So only really suffering massively on the last lap, but we still lost over a second. So the in-game BOP puts our power at 105 and our weight at 100. And the actual non-BOP settings for the Audi TT are just about spot on for where it needs to be. What we're looking at, this is me when I was actually just fiddling about. I'm comparing the sort of the numbers for when BOP's on, like in terms of max speed and acceleration, and I'm trying to adjust the settings so that they stay kinda within the same parameters, but obviously make the car a good bit lighter and give us quite a bit less power. So that's what we settled on there. I think that was what, 96 power and 87 for the weight. So we start the same 5-lap run, and off we go. Now again, before I did the 2 runs, I did 2 tests just to sort of check what Audi's top speed was at the end of the straight, and what sort of speed it crossed at the start-finish line, just so that I could get an idea that the acceleration and the top speed were pretty much the same compared to the in-game BOP settings. As just to reiterate, I'm not trying to change how the car performs. I'm trying to get the car to perform the same as it does with the in-game BOP, but with much better tyre wear. So we fast forward through the first 4 laps, the first 4.5 laps, so it is, and we jump back to normal time. Here's, as we've got on the screen, my BOP. So the first lap was a tenth quicker with my BOP. The second lap about 6 tenths quicker, but again I think that was just because we've now got the tyre wear excuse me, under control. And then laps 3 and 4 were in the low 12s, and it looks like we're going to do a sort of low to mid 12 for our final lap. With the in-game BOP we dropped into a mid 13 on this lap. And there we go, I think 1.1 seconds faster on lap 5, just purely through getting the tyres. We are much better. So that was just a little project that I sort of spent a couple of hours on yesterday. It was surprisingly easy to sort of adjust the BOP and make the cars perform very similar performance-wise, lap time wise as they did beforehand, but obviously the cars are a lot lighter. And we're putting less power through the drive wheels, and I think we improved the sort of tyre wear from about 20 to 25% in some cases, purely doing that. So I'm not going to say that I've fixed the BOP for these cars. Obviously you'd have to do a little bit more testing, maybe testing over longer distances and then testing over more tracks. And I never actually tested how the cars compare without tyre wear on. But it does go to show that it is possible for PD quite quickly to sort of make these cars more competitive. The one FF car we never looked at was the Volkswagen Scirocco. It's actually probably could do with a little bit of an adjustment, but it is in better shape than the other 3 in terms of tyre wear. Actually, it is capable of winning races in top split. I seem to remember SVRD winning a top split race in the Scirocco, actually around the Red Bull Ring that we're looking at. So as I said, just a little bit of a fun project just to see if there was options available to PD, and I think I would say, going by that it's certainly something they could implement quite quickly. So thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, hopefully it was remotely interesting. I actually had quite good fun doing it. It's sort of thing I quite like doing, is tinkering about with these things and seeing if we can sort problems out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you on the next one. Obviously no Wi-Fi for a week, and So we'll get the Bathurst round out at some point before it comes around. But again, thanks very much for watching. I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye now.